What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Every Week We Follow. I'm your host, James Clifton, and I'm here with my good friend, Gary Bennett. We're here to talk about the breaking news. Well, say breaking. It obviously broke at the weekend, and so we're a bit late to the party here. But Morgan Rogers is off to Chelsea. It looks like all the T's are being crossed and the I's are getting dotted. Who knows? Could be some kind of bidding war, but I highly doubt it because I don't think Arsenal are going to be wanting to pay anywhere near that money. But we will talk about that now. But also, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Let us know down in the comments: is Morgan Rogers dead to you, or is he very much still the player that could have been and we've let go? But Gary, take it away, mate. How are you feeling,
mate? It's look, the job he's done, right? Is I think he's arrived at Chelsea for his medical. It's fine. I don't care. He's gone. I just like we'll take the money and run, right? I think Unai Emery's done a masterpiece because if I'm honest, I kind of he's a good player, right? But he frustrated me a lot of the time, if I'm honest. And I kind of we've pulled Chelsea's pants down, mate, because all they've paid for is potential. I hope he fucking falls off a cliff like most people have at Chelsea. No Champions League football. He's gone for the money. I get it, right? But there is I'm not even talking about loyalty to Villa. I'm just talking about in terms of there's no integrity in these bastards anymore. It's just like whoever's the highest bidder they'll go to, right? And I get it, right? But how much money do you actually need above a professional standard? And it just drops because if it's just about the money, where's the you do all the hard work to become a pro just to sell yourself out for like he's already a multi-millionaire. I don't like the greed is anyway. I don't before the comments come in and go, oh, what if you double your salary? Well, I'm not earning 10 million quid a year as it stands. If I was earning 10 million, if someone offered me 20, it wouldn't make a great deal of difference to my lifestyle, would it?
I think there's a few things we have to outline here. And someone, I think, what was it? Someone put on like one of the England ones. It was like to the pillow in the purple shirt is a melt. I was like, look, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. The idea here, the dynamic, if you're not aware of this podcast, is very much Gary tends to get quite moany about stuff. And then I try and bring us back and go, okay, well, let's just look at it like this. Let's balance it out. So we don't know if Villa wanted to sell him. We don't actually know that, right?
Well, we do know. Well, I don't. I think the question is, we don't. Did Unai Emery want to sell him? Maybe not, but it was taken out of his hands because it was apparently one of the owners who's said yes.
What I mean is the club very much were open to selling him if a big enough bid came in, right?
Yeah.
So that's one factor. So Morgan doesn't control that. The other question is then when I was thinking about Arsenal versus Chelsea, this whole thing where people are going, why is he going to Chelsea? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yes, obviously money. But two, arguably, would he play more at Chelsea than he will at Arsenal? I think at Chelsea, he'll probably start almost every game. Whereas at Arsenal, he definitely would have rotated. Yeah, he will. Who's going to play in that position instead?
Cole Palmer. They're both the fucking same player, mate.
Yeah, but Cole Palmer plays on the right, whereas Morgan can play off that left.
Palmer, mate. Look.
Because I think Enzo Fernandez is going. But look, he's just like.
Oh, mate, he needs to be in prison. Like fucking after what he did today. Absolutely. Argentinian team, all of them should be banned from playing football after them attacking the Spanish team yesterday.
No, I think. Well, okay. I think Morgan will probably get more game time than he would at Arsenal. I think
potentially, yes, but they haven't got as much football.
They haven't. No, right. This season, right? You got to look at it longer term. He signed a 6-year deal. The likely of who's going to, I would say from an outsider's perspective, although if you do look historically at the last few seasons, probably not the case, but is he more likely to win stuff and do something with Chelsea over the next 4 to 5 years than he is with Villa? Probably with Chelsea, because they're going to spend hundreds of millions every season. You know what I mean? Whereas Villa can't do that. So, but yes, it's shit. It's crap. But what I will say is that obviously we've done these deals behind the scenes. So we've done the Manzambi deal. Looks like the Gomez deal's going through, all that kind of stuff. It's interesting to know how much of that was actually orchestrated and done and put in place before this deal happened? Like, as in, are those reliant on this deal happening in terms of the financing already being allocated to this? Or is it actually a case of now we've got, well, not 117 million because we lose 20% or whatever it is to Borough or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Is it actually now a case of, right, well, actually, we can spend that on, the rumours of like Somerville or the left back from AC Milan that's potentially coming in as well. Like all these kind of, I think like we've said before, we kind of expected him to go and it's for the greater good probably of the team.
Yeah, look, I think, okay, we're talking about two different things. So first of all, this is personally about Morgan Rogers leaving, right? I think it's a mistake personally for him, and I hope he falls off a cliff at Chelsea because the only reason he's got anywhere near the standard that he's been put into that price range is because of Unai Emery, right? Xabi Alonso, as good of a coach as he is, he's a fucking baby in infancy in terms of things. If he loses the first 6 games for Chelsea because their squad doesn't gel, he's fucking gone. And then
do you think he would have played well under Arteta? The way he coaches.
I don't, mate. Look, so we got to. If you just go back to like, he was released by Man City because he was deemed surplus to requirements. He went to Middlesbrough. He didn't exactly tear up trees at Middlesbrough, but Unai Emery saw potential, which is why I said at the start they're paying for potential. It's up to him to reach that potential. I think he's going to regret doing this from a footballing perspective, right? Because I just don't see. I mean, he might prove me wrong, but I just don't see him being as effective for a team like Chelsea, right, where ultimately there's competition for places. Like you said, they're going to be continually spending hundreds of millions of pounds. So if he doesn't, it puts a little bit more pressure on him. Mm-hmm. Whereas obviously we've been exceeding expectations. The frustrating thing from a Villa perspective is that once again, just when we look like we're building something, we've got to start again. Now we go into a new season now rather than in a position of strength, in a position of uncertainty, because while these signings coming in may well be great, mate, and turn out to be brilliant, we don't know, do we? And it's just like we don't know how Rodgers is going to perform at Chelsea. So instead of going, actually, we've got a solid midfield, we've got, and adding 1 or 2 players to the existing squad and getting rid of the deadwood. Bailey, please, Hull City, take him.
Come on, Hull! Come on!
Offer something else, but pay them money to take him. Right, it's fine, right? And there's other, with Dean, you going and losing Tillemans. I thought Rodgers might stay, but it is what it is. Like, we're 9 o'clock for the season. We'll have the heart of it, which is McGinn. Kamara has to stay fit now. He's got no fucking choice. Like if he we're screwed.
We've got to keep Constance on.
Well,
I'm going.
Look, and then when we talk about that, you talk about Konzigo potentially going to Arsenal as well. Like, it just takes me back to the SCR nonsense, and it fucking pisses me off because it's just not fair. It's just not fair. And I guess what it comes down to is going, whoever comes and who goes, the main aspect of this is that we've still got Unai Emery. And I think if you look at what he's done in the last 4 seasons, and we've said this numerous times over the last 2 seasons, mate, it doesn't matter about the players. If you've got Unai Emery in charge, he clearly he's a brilliant coach that can get the best out of players and get them to another level, right? So that's what's got to happen again this season. But the downside to that is that if we don't get Champions League football this season, does Unai Emery stay, right? And is the project untenable because we're never going to be able to compete? Because the more that mate, I was listening to TalkSport this morning and fucking Rory Jennings, I swear to God, I don't know how these people get such a fucking limelight, right? He's a fucking bellend, right? Talking about how it's our own fault, right, for not qualifying for the Champions League, last season when we fucked up against Man United, or it's because
the referee's fault.
Yeah. Or it could be, is there a slight fucking dodgy shitting referee decisions that are going on? Yes, right. Bias against the big six. The fact that we've spent more, like we've had, our wage bill's too high, right? But it's all part of the same circle, right? We have to spend the money to try and compete. We get fucked over.
This is what we said, right? Yeah. Right. That overachieved, that jump to the Champions League kind of killed us for the following season. One thing I was going to quickly say is, like, it'd be interesting to see what we do here, because we'll either take that money and we'll go, right, we're reinvesting it all, almost all of it in the squad, and we're going to make a real push to, again, try and get Champions League and all that, which I think we will try to do, right? Or you kind of look at it and go, well, Emery can work his magic a bit. Can we use some of this as a bit of a safety net of, if we don't make the Champions League, we're then not going to be in this situation because we can take 30 million of that money that we got from Morgan Rogers, put it toward, do you know what I mean? Like, as in, it kind of helps to balance the books a little bit and take it. Because also, you look at the players that have gone. Yuri Tielemans, one of the highest earners in the team, gone off the books. Digne, one of the highest earners, gone off the books. Anana is injured, so his salary is going to be covered by Belgium. We've got other players. I mean, Rogers, again, he's not on a low salary, off the books. So I'm like looking at it going, actually, we've brought our salary down. We're hopefully going to bring some of the average player like age down, which means over the next 2 to 3 seasons, we can have a bit of stability and build that again. Overachieve is the plan for this next season with Unai Emery. See if we can get that. If we can get Champions League again, mate, I genuinely feel like we're laughing a little because we're kind of sitting there going, well, we've managed to kind of like balance the books. We've got the big earners off the wage bill. Now our income's again big. So then we can actually start to really build. I don't think I think the pressure of the Champions League's massive, like to get it again, but I don't think it's as big as it was because I think we've managed to kind of like paper the cracks a little bit over these past couple of seasons, bring down that wage bill. We won't have the UEFA sanction next season, all this kind of stuff. So
I think it's still crap. Within those perimeters that you mentioned, mate, it's just frustrating because ultimately, when you look at what Chelsea are doing and what Spurs are doing, it's not fair. Because ultimately we haven't been able just to improve our squad. We've had to decimate it to get the money to be able to try and challenge.
Well, we've said it doesn't matter, mate. They can, Chelsea can spend £1 billion or whatever they want to do, and it's still shit. Whereas we can spend 30 mil and qualify for Champions League. So it's like, it just said, as long as we got Unai here,
you pay homage to Unai, right? In the fact that that's what he's done, and that's we don't. Well, I'm not saying most Villa fans do know how lucky we are to have Unai Emery. I think, but there are. I think it's the rest of the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? I think that's the thing. The plaudits that don't come our way, and I guess we just have to go under the radar again and kind of try and do what we've been doing for the last 4 seasons. Look, I've got no doubt in my mind that Unai Emery knows exactly what he's got. He would have known as the season came to a close what was going on. Right?
There would have been plans, right? Like there would have been things and sounds coming. But like what will be interesting is, like you said, we're kind of going under the radar. And we're probably going to go under the radar again because people are going to underestimate us again. Yeah. They're going to look at it and go, they've lost Tielemans, they've lost Rogers, they've lost Digne. Everyone keeps on messaging me going like, oh, it's all falling apart. It's all falling apart. I'm like, no, I think because internally, other than Tielemans was a surprise.
Yes.
That we kind of expected this. So we're kind of like, we need the rebuild. We need it. Like, I think I sent it to you yesterday. And I said, if this comes off, Manzambi, Gomez, Palhinha, potentially Nicholas Jackson, if you listen to the noise, Estupiñán, a pretty good window if you then potentially bring in a right back. And we balance the books with that. It's like, that's actually a crazy good window, but it's a lot of change. It's a lot of like disjointed change that players that haven't worked together. We know that Emery has to get people working in his system. It's a lot of change.
Yeah.
And so I think this season, the key thing Villa fans need to do is not do what some of them did after 5 games of not scoring a goal last season, where everyone's going, Emery out, he's lost it, he's lost the dressing room. It's like, come on, like, are you insane?
Mate, I think we've just got to prepare for a season of this again, up and down, mate.
Yeah. It's going to be great for the pod. We're going to be all over the place. It's going to be a whole other season.
Like we always say, like, what's the point of just winning all the time? It's boring.
Yeah, exactly. But obviously, we have actually this week we've got a game, haven't we? We've got a game.
We have, mate. Potentially that tomorrow night, mate. First pre-season friendly of the summer. It's at the Poundland, whatever. I don't know what it's called now. No, I'm not going. Ava's got football training, mate. So I'm in Nottingham. I'm gutted because I've been to this fixture for the last 2 seasons, and I think it was this time last year when we played Roma, and Buendia really impressed me and went on to have arguably the best season in a Villa shirt, right? And I thought at the time he was going to be leaving. So I mean, look, most of those players, I guess it'll be a second string side because most of the people will be on leave still from the World Cup. But it might be a chance. Wouldn't it be interesting?
Yeah, we're good to see them. Good to see some of the players, like some of these youngsters, and see how they come through. Also, by the way, I think Townley said in 1874 that I think after the World Cup and as long as they all come back okay and stuff, I think Barkley's it might be signing a new contract.
It's interesting because last week he was going to Coventry. I heard.
Yeah, but it looks like I'm guessing maybe with the whole Tielemans leaving and Onana injured kind of thing, they're gone. You know what? Actually, we could do with this kind of calm head, experienced head in numbers in that midfield, and they decided not to. So according to Townley, sorry, not Townley, Tanswell, Jacob Tanswell. According to him, he's potentially signing a new deal.
Barkley's an interesting one, right? Because clearly Emery rates him, right? But he's injury prone, though, right? Or personal issues, whatever it was last time. He spent a lot of time out, and we can't afford with the players that we've lost to have players missing. You know, so I'm assuming it's going to be interesting to see what that midfield looks like. You know, around without Onana. You know, is Kamara going to be fit for the start of the season? I know he's training and he's not. You know, but you know he's coming back from an ACL, mate.
Stay fit is the main question.
That's the main question, right? So if he's going to stay fit, he's got to come back 100%, right? So you know, will that be for the start of the season? We don't know. If it is, I assume that you know will McGinn take a more central role alongside him now Tielemans has gone. Do you know what I mean? And play further forward, because if we're talking about someone who can pass the ball forward, maybe McGinn's our next best option of that. But saying that, so's Barkley's very good at doing that, but he's not as good as he wasn't as good as Tielemans.
Well, obviously, I mean, we don't know where he's going to play, but Manzambi is that kind of box-to-box type midfielder as well. He'll pick the ball up deep and he'll drive forward more, maybe like Morgan Rogers was playing in the 8.
But I don't imagine Emery changing his system, mate. So I think he's going to be a more like for Rogers. I think he'll end up playing out on the left-hand side and coming central. Do you know what I mean? That's, you know, with Buendia as a 10, and then I don't know, whoever fucking out on the right. Hopefully not McGinn, but please not Leon Bailey. Please come on, Bailey.
Well, we've still got to see what happens with Gassond. Can we get rid of him, please? Yeah, I don't know. It's Anyway, I mean, there's a key few weeks coming up.
Well, the good news is, like, I'm
early. I like that.
Yeah, mate. We talk about that, right? So hopefully these can come back, and we've got a pretty full pre-season fixture list coming up. So I'm so happy the World Cup is over. Right?
Let's give that the 1 minute they deserve. By the way, 1, Argentina absolutely stunk the place out. 2, all that crap after the final whistle, horrendous, mate. Like, honestly, they
should be banned.
Yeah, I was going to say it shouldn't be allowed in the damn thing. No. And then 3, Thomas Tuchel goes and plays all his reserves, and they absolutely light it up. I mean, no one cared about that game. You could see that France were on the beach in the first half, and then they got
it's like an exhibition game. Everyone bumming and going, no. It just angered me more. Just like
it was more angering because I was like looking at it, going like the ball's over the top with Rashford running. I was like, this is literally what we needed against Argentina.
Mate, I'm watching Argentina not have a shot in 90 minutes yesterday. That's this in a World Cup final.
Mate, first time in history. First time in history.
Mate, they're a disgrace, and it just angered me even more that we didn't beat them and end up kind of, you know, fair play to Spain, congratulations, best football in the end, because they were by far the best side. You know, they would have. I don't think we would have beat them in the final anyway. I think they would have dominated us, and we'd have struggled against them. So yeah, fair play to Spain. But now, mate, we can come back to the wonderland of Aston Villa, right? Come on, the Villa boys! Right? Starting with Walsall on Tuesday. At the Pallet Track Stadium. Sorry, it changes so much.
I thought it was the Poundland.
It changed last season or the season before to the Pallet Track. Okay. You know, Poundland went bump, I think, mate. So, or they're struggling. They're going into administration. Followed by Saturday, mate. It's all like the games come thick and fast, right? So, you know, Tuesday Walsall, Saturday Porto, Tuesday Real Sociedad back at the Pallet Track. And Mike, I think there's still tickets available for that. I might try and get tickets for that next Tuesday.
Yeah, that'd be good. And then we've got the Indonesia 11, mate.
Yes, the Indonesian All-Stars. Yes, international. We're going to international superstar soccer mode, mate, because we followed that with the PG Pathum United, right? So we've got a little bit like Indonesian where we go. Konami are running that one. If that was sponsored by Konami, that would be amazing, right?
Yeah.
So that's 1st of August, 4th of August, and then Bayern Munich on the 7th, and then we've got the wonderful
Yeah,
Super Cup.
Cup. Yeah,
So and if you'll go to
with that referee as well, the Somalian referee.
Yeah, they've allowed him in.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
Yeah, it's fun time, mate. It's all getting like, I'm getting pumped again now for the new season. I'm like, right, World Cup's done. Let's get on with it.
Now this starts, mate, because I think all these games are live on AVTV. So if you are a season ticket holder or you've got a membership and you're subscribed to AVTV, you can watch all the games on there.
I was going to say we could have done a watch along tomorrow, but you're training, aren't you? So you can't do it for the Warsaw game.
What time does it kick off?
7:30.
7:30. I could do the first half from Ava's training.
She's training. Well, we can try and do it.
I'll take my stuff, mate, and we'll see if we can get it going. I can at least be around for the first half, because I think what time she trying from?
The difficulty I have at the minute is that Henry's like incredibly fighting sleep, so he's getting to like sometimes pushing us to 7:45. So it might even be that I can't quite make it either.
I will definitely. I'm definitely going to do some live watch alongs for these pre-season ones. Because just to get us back into the swing of things, because people have had a few messages on TikTok as well to say like, "Oh, you haven't been putting any content out," and I haven't really because one, it's the World Cup stuff, and I think that when I started it at the start, and nobody really watched it. No, right? I was like,
it's not just about the views; it's just like without live interaction when you're doing live, it's a bit.
No, well, that's what I mean. When I say no one really watched it, like I'm interacting with 4 people, which is great for the 4 people that kind of join me. Like, thank you so much. Right?
Well, that was me, I think.
Yeah, right, but. Ultimately, when you want the interaction. That's when the comedy gold comes in, right? So,
I mean, we'll definitely, if you're available, we'll definitely be doing one for the Super Cup final, 12th of August, 8:00. So we'll definitely be doing them.
Well, I think yes, but I think I'm going to the warehouse to watch that.
Oh, right, okay, maybe not then.
The Super Cup. I'll be live. We could be live from the warehouse.
Yeah, you can try.
Let's do that. Okay. Bit of atmosphere, you could be there, and so yeah. Look, it's exciting to have it back. I really, now we've got all this business done. It would be great to start seeing these players just kind of get some minutes and come back to it. Now, hopefully, I would assume those at the World Cup probably will miss the first 2 or potentially the next 3 games: Warsaw, Porto, and Sociedad. I would have thought, depending on their fitness state and when they went out. McGinn might be back because he went out of the group stage, so he's had a couple of weeks. Because I would have thought anyone that's got into the knockout stages will at least want a couple of weeks off to kind of recharge and come back, right?
I think it's 2 weeks. They have to have minimum, I think, anyway.
Yeah. So you've got, and then you're going to want them back for those Indonesia games because to get them prepped for the club for the Super Cup. Right,
I'm hoping that because I was just checking on the status of Brian Maggio because obviously we've appealed that ruling. I think the hearing was officially on the 1st of July, but there's been no target set date for a ruling. It's one of those things where you're just kind of like waiting, just sitting here waiting. It's like it's frustrating.
How long does it fucking take?
It
can't be that difficult to make this decision. Either he can or he can't play. Right?
Well, they've got to consult with every single one of the big 6 teams, just to make sure that everything's in line for them. But yeah, it's
mate, even then, like even if it's not successful, right? The fact that we're trying to,
right?
But we're trying to push it through, which suggests that there's a place for him in the squad, right? And they're going to use him, right? So even if they say no, at least that could be like having a new player in January. Now he's a young lad, but mate, watching him on YouTube, this guy is a beast. Like I'm not saying he's going to hit the ground running in the Premier League, but he's a big lad and he's looks mobile. And
it's a lazy matchup to make, but it just reminds me so much of Lukaku.
Yes,
because he's absolute beast of a man, beast of a lad because he's 16. Is he 17 now? I think
17 now. He's just turned 17.
But yeah, it'd be great to see him because then we've got that person on the bench for a different option as well. That kind of person that can maybe come on a bit of naivety, change a game, a bit of kind of hunger. It's what we saw with like John Duran, right? It was just a wild card, crazy kind of guy who comes on the pitch.
Mate, if Watkins is staying, right, then it's not a bad backup, is it, to have a young lad coming on and hopefully proving a point and actually forcing himself into a team. I just hope he's given an opportunity, because like I said, we go back to my concern is letting all these players go, that Unai Emery historically doesn't just drop new players in from the start, right? It takes time to bet them in. So, but he's got no choice here, because we've got no fucking players.
Exactly. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how the squad's kind of built up, and obviously we'll do a season preview at some point during the next couple of weeks as well. We'll do kind of our predictions for the season, how the team's looking. Obviously, that isn't the end. When the season starts, it isn't the end of the window. There's like a couple of weeks more, but we will do our best to try and do some predictions. Might get a round table, might get some of the Villa Park podcast guys on as well, and like Amy on and stuff.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we shall see where we go. Anyway, back to it. So obviously, like we just talked about, a lot of content that's going to be coming over the next couple of weeks. So do subscribe, keep your post notifications on, comment down below. What do you think about the ROGERS deal? What do you think about the upcoming season? World Cup gone. Let's concentrate on Villa now.
Football's back, baby!
Football is back! And obviously, Gary will be doing various live content on TikTok, so do make sure you go and follow us on there as well. Gary, final thoughts, and give us a sing out, mate.
Final thoughts, mate. I'm just excited the World Cup's over. The season for me kicks off on Tuesday. I will try and watch that Walsall game, even if we don't do a watch along, kind of, just and see what we're looking like. Just to have us back and being able to talk about the Villa again. It feels like an eternity. So bring on the next 3 weeks, right? 4 weeks before we and get these games in. Super Cup to look forward to, and then that opener against Brighton on the 23rd of August? Yeah, 23rd of August.
31st. It's been the Arsenal game's been moved to the bank holiday Monday, hasn't it? It's the Monday evening.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Brilliant. But yeah, it's a late start really, because usually we start mid-August, don't we? So actually, there's only going to be a week left of the transfer window when we when the league.
It's actually quite nice, to be honest.
Yeah, so that'll be quite nice. So that's where we're at. It's all happening, mate. Like you said, hit that like and subscribe button, hit the hype button. It's Monday. It's all refreshed. We're back, baby. Stay tuned. And as always, every week we follow the boys in Claret and Blue. Peace.